Hey guys, welcome back. Today I wanted to do a get ready with me, and I wanted to share some of my favorite products that are $10 and under. Also the tools that I use to apply the makeup. All of those are going to be $10 and under, and I have a brush set that is amazing for under $10. I am going out to brunch with some of my girlfriends today for a Galentine's Day brunch, so I'm really looking forward to that. So the look today is going to be Valentine's Day themed, like colors and everything. This is the Hard Candy Just Glow Luminizer. I mentioned this in a video last week using like new products from the drugstore. The shade is in Rosy Glow. They have 3 different shades of this. This is the lightest shade. And this is just a really beautiful illuminating primer. You could also use this mixed in with your foundation, and you can also use it like on top of your foundation as a highlight. I haven't quite tried it that way yet. I believe that this product is around $7 or $8 at Walmart. So the next product that I have been loving recently, this is I think around a little bit over $5, like depending on where you get it. I think at Walmart it's like $5 and some change. But this is the Wet n Wild Bare Focus Tinted Hydrator. And then I'm gonna use my Wet n Wild makeup sponge. And I've been meaning to pick up some of the Paw Paw makeup sponges off of Amazon. I know that you guys have recommended those to me several times, but I had so many backups of these Wet n Wild makeup sponges that I'm just trying to get through them first before I buy those sponges. But you can get like a pack of quite a few of them off of Amazon for I think like $9.99, like the Paw Paw sponges, where this one Wet n Wild sponge is around $3 or $4, which is still a really great deal considering, you know, how expensive some of these makeup sponges can be. It builds really nicely, and I can get a nice medium coverage from this foundation. It's long wearing. It has a good semi-matte, leaning a little bit more dewy type of finish. This is one of my most affordable foundations in my makeup collection, but this is also one of my favorite like daily foundations now. I've almost went through this whole bottle because I've been using it so much recently. One of my favorite affordable concealers from the drugstore is the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer. This pairs so nice with this Wet n Wild foundation. The shade that I use in this right now is in shade Fair Beige. So I'm just gonna put a little bit of it here in the like inner corner. And then I take my ring finger and I just slowly pat that out here on the under eye, like just bringing it out this way. And then I will take some more of it out here like that. But it's very hydrating. It doesn't accentuate dryness or anything like that. And this shade in Fair Beige has a little bit of a peach undertone to it, so I find that it's really brightening for me on the under eye area, but it doesn't look too overly like light, because some concealers can almost be too light and almost accentuate things that you don't want it to accentuate. I'll apply a little bit of this down the nose and a little bit around the mouth, just because I find that I need just a little bit more coverage in those areas. I use this every single day. I mean, like you can tell I've hit major pan on this. This is the Rimmel Stay Matte Powder. I used to be scared to use this powder for the longest time because of the name Stay Matte. Like I didn't want my foundation or concealer to look too overly matte. But honestly, this doesn't make my foundations look too dried out, matte, or anything like that. This powder is very finely milled and very packed into the product. So I find that when you apply it, it doesn't over apply it. I'm using the e.l.f. flat top powder brush, but like I said, I was gonna mention this Amazon brush set, and I mentioned it several different times, But yeah, 18 brushes for $10. You cannot beat that. And the quality of the brushes are so nice. Like, they're so soft. I haven't had any issues with any of the brushes shedding. They're easy to clean, and I love a lot of the eye brushes. I use them all the time. Some of the face brushes I wish were a little bit different, but like if you use a lot of cream products, I think you might like some of the face brushes a little bit more than I do. Like, if I had to pick my favorite out of these two, the e.l.f. is more of a favorite, because like if I hold these up, you can kind of see how the e.l.f. one's like a little bit bigger, but it's the same sort of concept. So if you were really on a budget and you wanted to just not buy a bunch of different brushes from a bunch of different brands, you could use that flat top brush in that Amazon set. But I just love this e.l.f. flat top brush for setting. It has been my favorite setting brush for years and years and years. And then to set the under eyes, I'm gonna use this little triangle powder poof. You can get this off of Amazon. It's $5.99 for the set, and it comes with 6 of these little triangle powder poofs. I use this pretty much every day to set the under eyes, and I just barely dip it there in the Rimmel Stay Matte. As you can see, the powder doesn't look too overly matte on top of the foundation. It doesn't look too heavy or powdery, so Rimmel Stay Matte is such a gem at the drugstore, and I rarely hear people mention that. One of my very favorite products to use to condition my lips is this Vaseline Rosy Lips Lip Therapy. And I've never used the Laneige lip mask, but I've heard that this is a pretty good dupe to that product. It's extremely affordable. e.l.f. Ultra Precise Brow Pencil. I love the NYX Micro Brow, but that one is around $10, $11, $12 depending on where you purchase it. But I need to scour the drugstore and find some good eyeshadows or brow powders that you can use, because that is something that could be really affordable to use on your brows, is an eyeshadow for brow powder or just brow powders. I feel like that's not a super popular product right now, and most people are using these brow pencils or pens like the Maybelline Build-A-Brow. I also really like that product, but it's like the same thing depending on where you get it. It could be anywhere from like $11 to $14. And then for my brow gel, I'm going to be using the e.l.f. Wow Brow, and this is in the shade, I think brunette. Or no, actually I think this might be dark brown. Like, I need reading glasses to read this. Deep brown. For eyeshadow primer, I'm gonna use the Hard Candy Moods eyeshadow paints. This is a great eyeshadow primer. It also evens out your eyelids, like cancels out like any redness or veins. You can get this at Walmart for a little bit over $3. And I'm using this angled brush out of that Amazon brush set to blend this Hard Candy eyeshadow paint out on the eyelid. And then I'm gonna let this dry down before I go in with the eyeshadow. And this is in the shade Halo. I don't know if I mentioned that. This is the Catrice Electric Rose. I just think this is so pretty for Valentine's Day and for like a Galentine's look. And this little palette, you can get it off of Catrice's website or also Amazon. That's where I got this. And it's $6 for this palette. So you cannot beat that. I think that's such a great deal. And I love this palette. The quality of the eyeshadows are so nice. I'm gonna first go in with one of the blending brushes from this Amazon brush set. Like, you have one that's like a little bit flatter, and then there's another one here that's like a little bit more pointed. So I'm gonna be going in with this flat one first. I'm just gonna go in with this light pink in the palette, and I'm gonna blend that in the crease. Like, it's not gonna show up a ton, it's just gonna kind of warm up the crease a little bit. I just wanna put this shade down to help to blend out that other pink and to just kind of warm the crease up a little bit. So I'm just going in a few times and building up that color. So as you can see, that does warm up the eyelid there. And then I'm gonna go in with the angled brush from that set. It's just like the duo ended brush that's got the spoolie. My little spoolie was getting really loose and it broke off. So that might be like the only downfall to this brush set. This is like the only thing that I've had happen where that didn't hold up very well. But all the other brushes have held up good. And I mean, I still like to use this angled brush. So I'm gonna brush that same pink here on the lower lash line, just connecting it to that crease shade. Then I'm gonna go in with this matte mauve. Use this other blending brush in the set, the one that's like a little bit more pointed, just because I don't want to get that shade up too high. I want that lighter shade to kind of peak above this darker shade. For the outer V, we're gonna take the dark brown in the palette. I'm gonna use this pinched blending brush from that Amazon brush set. Get just a little bit of that brown on the tip of this. Knock off the excess. And I'm just going to, with little circular motions, just blend this first this way and then take it and blend it that way. So just lightly blending. I love these eyeshadow brushes from that brush set. They are so good. I mean, it's just crazy to think that if you divided the cost up between all the brushes, they're under $1 each. So I'm just adding a bit more, placing it like this, and then blending it up. So I'm just doing a little bit at a time. It's always easier to add a little bit more as you go. Can't really take it away once you get it on your eyelid. Just taking that same angled brush that I've been using on the lower lash line, getting some of that dark brown and blending that down here as well. All right, and then for the lid shade, you could go like a couple of different ways. So you could go with any 3 of these and it would give you like a different sort of look. But since we're doing Galentines and I really want to do something like festive Valentines, I'm gonna use the pink shade today. And I'm just packing it there on the eyelid. I do like how this brush comes to a point because it makes it really easy to get in like that inner corner part of your eye. And I am gonna go in with some of that lightest cream shimmery shade and use that in the inner corner. And I'm using just this pointed pencil brush from that brush set. Then with another concealer brush from that set, I'm gonna take the matte cream and I'm gonna use that as the brow bone highlights. And I might actually take just a little bit of that shimmery color that I used in the inner corner and just also lightly place it there. I'll do the rest of my like mascara, and I can't decide if I'm gonna do eyeliner or not, but we'll see here in a minute after I do like my bronzer and blush. I was so surprised by this product, and I used this for the first time in testing new drugstore makeup, but the LA Girl on Cloud 9 Bouncy Blush and Bronzer, love this. This is in the shade Coral Bliss, and I know this bronzer looks super scary, but if you use it really lightly, it is not too intense because it is a cream product. Like if I lightly blend it there on my hand, you can see it's not Like, it doesn't look anywhere near as scary as what's in the pan there. So yeah, I've just been enjoying these. These have like a really like cream to powder feel to them. I'm gonna be using this brush from that Amazon brush set. Now, I like this, I think, a little bit more for blush, but out of all the other brushes, like face brushes that come in that set, it comes with these other face brushes. Like, this one is so weird. Like, I think that this one might be used to like maybe do nose bronzing or contouring. Like, it's got such an interesting design, but I just don't find that I ever really use this. Like, it's not practical for me. Maybe for some other people it would be practical, but this is good for like blending concealer out if you like to use brush for concealer. So, but I never really use that brush too much. And these other brushes can be good for blush. I might attempt to use like the flats angled brush today to apply the blush, but this one here is a little too densely packed for my liking. I usually like a blush brush that's a bit more fluffy, but I do find that some people really enjoy these types of blush brushes to apply cream, like those liquid cream blushes. So maybe if you're really into liquid cream blushes, you would find this a bit more useful. So this is really the closest brush for bronzer, and this one is not quite as densely packed as some of the other brushes from that set. Lightly put the brush in there, and then I'm gonna lightly bronze like my cheekbones, and then I'll also take this up on the temples. So that's really the key with this bronzer, is just apply it lightly and slowly build it. But I do find that it sets on the face really nice. Like, it doesn't look powdery at all. It really blends in with like your foundation. So I really like the formula on this bronzer and blush. And LA Girl does have 3 other shades in this, like one that's even deeper than the one that I'm using and one that's lighter. Let's use this flat topped brush, and I'm gonna get, you know, kind of a lot of blush on there, and then just tap it off here on the back of my hand, just so I don't apply too much of it. Okay, yeah, this brush is actually working well to apply the blush. I don't know why I was like so scared of this brush for so long. I guess because it was like a little bit more dense than I would normally use for my blush brushes. But yeah, that's a little trick that if you get too much, like if you dip your brush too much into a product and it gets too heavily loaded, use the back of your hand here to dab off some of the excess. Essence has some really great affordable products, like especially blushes and highlights. They have some great mascaras as well, just some really great products. So these 2 highlights, the Essence Pure Nude Highlighter, which is like a light champagne, and then the Essence Pure Nude Sunlighter, which is more of a golden highlight, which is the one I'm gonna use. And that Amazon brush set does not have a good highlighting brush in that set, so I'm going to be using the Real Techniques 402 setting brush. I love this brush for highlighting. I'm just going to lightly brush this highlight on the high points of my cheekbones here. And it's just a really pretty light, or when I say light, I mean like not super intense highlight. Like, it looks natural on the skin, but it does have a little bit of that golden glow. I think what I decided that I'm gonna do for my eyeliner today, I'm just gonna go back to this Catrice eyeshadow palette, and I'm gonna use, let me see. Yeah, I'm gonna use that same little angled brush that I used on the lower lash line, and I'm gonna get some of the dark brown out of this, tap off the excess, and This might not show up a whole lot since this is the same color I used in the outer V, but I just want to bring a little bit more darkness right at the lash line there. And just here on this outer corner area. For lips, I'm gonna go ahead and take this off, that lip conditioner. Take that off. And I find that with lip products, that's another area at the drugstore where things can get a little bit pricey, and it's hard to find things that are under $10 for lips, at least things that I tend to wear on a daily basis. So that's like the thing about drugstore products, like depending on where you buy them, can really vary on the price. I feel like Ulta has some of the more expensive prices on some products, where Walmart and Target and sometimes Amazon can have some of the lower prices on the same product. This is the Revlon Color Stay Overtime Lip Color in the color Bare Maximum. So this is one of those lip products where you put this side on, let it dry down, and then you top it with like the glossy side to really lock in the color. So while that's drying down on the lips, I'm gonna go ahead and set my face with the makeup setting spray. This LA Girl setting spray is really good. I love this stuff, and this is under $10. So I'm gonna use this to set my face. All right, so now I'm gonna top this lip with the glossy side. But like, see how it already looks a little bit shiny because it has a bit of a pearl in it. Okay, and I'm just gonna curl my lashes up. And mascara is another thing at the drugstore that can be a bit more on the expensive side, depending on like what brand of mascara that you use. I mean, my favorites are from Maybelline, and they are just barely under $10. And it's also one of those things that, depending on where you buy it, it could be over $10. I'm just gonna use the Maybelline Lash Sensational. This is my all-time favorite drugstore mascara. And like I said, it sits right around the $10 mark. It does a great job of lifting, separating, and also giving volume. Don't have issues with it flaking or smudging, so that's why I always come back to this mascara. This is the final makeup look. I think this is so perfect for a Galentine's Day brunch or Valentine's if you're gonna go out for maybe a Valentine's Day date. You'll have to let me know, let us know down in the comments, what are some of your favorite products that are under $10. And I hope that you guys have a great day. I hope that you have a great Valentine's or Galentine's, whatever you're celebrating. And I will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye. Mwah.
Shouldn't doubt yourself, 'cause you're a work of art.